Hey, one sec. Cannot be able to hear because the volume is too low.
Okay.
Okay, for the first time, I'm hang on. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
All right.
Am I hearing an echo?
Are you?
I think now it seems okay. I think,
Hello, check.
yes, I think we are good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. Awesome. How are you, Suresh?
Good, man.
You just came back from Rajasthan.
Oh, yeah. Now it's like 52, man. But trend ஆயாச்சு.
um, before we start off, are you okay if I take a quick picture?
Okay.
Okay. You'll just be as you are, and then நான் இங்கேருந்து ஒரு picture எடுத்துக்கிறேன். Cool. All right. You can also do a thumbs up if you like. Perfect. All right. Got it. Right. Just one sec. I'll kickstart the recording and we're good.
All right.
So, Mr. Suresh, thank you so much for coming. I am really, really honored to have you. And as I said earlier, I'm just a fan. And
You
you
made
guys
that
are.
t-shirt?
Sorry?
You made that t-shirt? I love it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. And in fact, when I made it, this is a jumper with a hoodie.
Okay.
So I made 2 t-shirts as well, and I sent it to Sir Studio. One is Srinivas எடுத்துனாரு. One I think he did say that he gave it to AR, and I'm thinking AR must have given it to one of his assistants. So Srini sir did like the t-shirt. Yes, he loved it. I'll actually send you one.
Sure.
And AR will like it when he sees you wearing it for sure. So yeah, I mean, this is my office / ARR room. I'm thinking you might be able to see.
I can see the badges out there.
Yeah,
Hey, any
இதெல்லாம் என்ன?
all your sports.
Yes, running medals. And this is obviously AR and me in Trichy just 2 months ago, on 15th of Feb. And then this is a canvas print that I made, and that's my car with the modeling there. And okay, right. And of course, I've got his book autographed by him, and yeah, a couple of pictures with him that I took in the past during my trips to India. So this is my ARR room. And yeah, when I sent the pictures to AR, he was like, "I think it's time for you to get married." That's how AR is, right? He'll just crack it. And yeah, it's anyway. Thank you heaps for coming over. I really appreciate it. And so, how's the lockdown going for you?
Like everybody else here, just at home and
Yeah,
to get past every day. And
yeah,
I think I'm just pretty lucky because I have my computer and my gear at home, so I
yeah,
spend some time doing
yeah,
some mixing and doing some work on music. Otherwise, like everybody else, it's like, yeah, we are watching TV and the news is everything that's happening right now. So
yeah, yeah.
they are confined to a small space.
Right. And has the number of cases come down in Bangalore or Karnataka in specific?
The cases seem to be going up, but it's more like asymptomatic. And since like there are not many serious cases, and there are also a lot of people recovering. So
Okay.
that's a kind of good news. But the fact is that the number of people who are affected are going up.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
Bangalore is right.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even my brother, sister, everyone's stuck. They haven't been to work for almost 1.5, 2 months or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's unfair, right? I mean, The whole world has been in a lockdown for 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. And but here, I mean, we've been working remotely. So I work in IT. So I've been working in remotely from home for almost 5, 6 weeks now, or even more. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So it's even more busier actually working from home with more and more meetings and stuff like that. And plus this initiative that I've taken up with a little bit of personal time that I had, I'm devoting totally into this, and I'm actually very excited because the fact that I'm actually getting to talk to people who have worked with AR closely and the likes of yourself and stuff like that, it's amazing to hear the stories and experiences and the journey.
yeah.
And yeah, once again, I really would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for making it. So, and the thing is, I mean, look, you've always been in Bangalore, is it?
No, I've been in Chennai. I
Yeah.
shifted to Bangalore quite some time back. At least now it should be close to what, 15 years. The
Right.
thing is that I work predominantly in 5 different industries. That is in Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and the IT industries. And I also found that quite it for my health reasons to move back.
Uh,
So I'm kind of settled over here now
yeah.
in terms of belonging.
Right. And AR visits you when he comes to Bangalore, quite obviously.
AR is a man very little time. It sense like meeting him is like even for me it's like an appointment. So I really don't uh, spend so much time now at meetings monitoring like that as much as it's on work.
Right. Okay. Right. And but do you get to talk to him?
Yeah, sometimes. See, mostly once I can't operate, my receiving doesn't have
Yeah.
the signal, so I can't
Oh,
go
yes.
there. So I,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. What are the question?
But do you get to talk to him on the phone?
Mostly workplace
Worse. Yeah. I
because
understand. Yeah.
he's a man who's that it's a big difference those days when he had the time
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know. So most of the conversations we have is really professional and
Yeah.
basically based on shows or like
Right.
programs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting though because I was in Trichy just 2 months ago, and I also met his sisters, and I was hanging out with them in the backstage and stuff like that. And while having tea, I just basically asked them, "So, AR is your brother. So, do you actually get to talk to him? Do you call him, or what's the scene like at home?" And they're like, "No, no, 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 no. We don't disturb him." But but don't you at least even call to say hello? No, only if it is important we'll call him.
See, Rahman has always been a man of few words.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a regular, even those days, it's not like, I pick up the phone anytime and just call him because he's always been informed and he don't know where his mind space is.
Yeah.
So he's been a kind of a person where we usually wait when he calls, not really calling him to say.
Yeah. 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 Right.
It's understood, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not such a difficult thing considering who he is, right?
Yeah. Indeed.
There's no room for small talk. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Well, I mean, you've been his long time friend, pretty much a childhood buddy. And is there stuff that you like to share about pre-Roja days and stuff like that? And in fact, one of the guys here in Australia wanted me to ask you specifically about Nemesis Avenue days. He said, please ask Suresh about this. I said, okay.
Yeah, we had a band. We had a band called Nemesis Avenue.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, Rahman already was a session musician. We used to know him at that point of time and
Yeah.
he was a prodigy at that point itself. He was just phenomenal at that age itself. It was not very difficult for people to kind of prophesy saying, hey, you're gonna get somewhere. But honestly, even then, he was a man of words.
Mm.
It's not like we would have lengthy conversations about anything at all. Maybe at some point of time, mostly the conversations revolved around gear and music, and maybe at some point in time, philosophy. Those are the kind of subjects that
Mm.
kind of connects with.
Mm.
So, and he was always to himself.
Mm.
So the work spoke for itself, and I think he was the quietest member of the band.
Mm.
We used to rehearse only in the nights.
Right.
Because daytime to have sessions,
Yeah.
and yeah, if we end up rehearsing maybe 10 onwards or 11 onwards, in the night, about 2 in the morning, stuff like that.
Wow.
And uh, even then, he was very busy getting to practice. So yeah, it was. I guess it was an experience with a lot of
Mm.
knowledge gap because he came in with the sequencers and he came in with his, synthesizers and stuff like that.
Was he
He
a
was,
gadget freak even then?
huh?
Right. Was he a gadget slash instrument freak even then?
Yeah,
Okay.
always, always. But my earliest memory of him was not the earliest memory. Almost all the memories I have of him have always been about something new in terms of technology or gear. And
Yeah.
he was one of those guys who actually procured it more intensely. It's like, he knew how to handle those machines at that time. So he knew how to create
Yeah.
stuff which none of us could imagine, figuring out sound. And not just that, he had a very sonic sense to change the color of sound in India.
Yeah.
When you will realize that when Roja came out, the sonic spectrum of music
Yeah.
had changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh, we owe it all in a big way
Yeah.
to give us that new input as to like, how an entire spectrum of music gets sound
Mm.
and also incorporation of electronic instruments
Mm.
along with because that was the time when everything was like you get into recording so we had 60, 70 people
Wow.
and it was all orchestration, it was written down and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so like you have this entire thing done on sequencers and keyboards and
Yeah.
so it was replacing a lot of talent, but Rahman had the actual talent to make electronics speak a human language.
Yeah.
But that is where the total respect for them goes. It's not just about using electronics, but humanizing
True.
that would go a level where it sounds pleasing. A lot of electronic music does not necessarily sound pleasing
Yeah.
because of a certain repetitive kind of thing that happened. But in every song that he has created a new sound.
Yeah.
And it's a study.
True.
You can book any song and check out the arrangement and the sound of it. And there's always an element of surprise.
Uh,
And it continues till today.
I actually glad that you mentioned Suri because it's still relevant. It still sounds fresh. Considering if I had to play Roja today or Trida Trida for example, Trida Trida song plays Chandralekha plays in almost every concert of his, and and it's still relevant. It still sounds fresh. It doesn't feel like it is 25 years old. And how is that possible? How did he foresee something like this?
I I would really say he really rewrites
Yeah.
and rewrites and rewrites.
Yeah.
Uh, he is never a person who comes into the scene and is okay with it
Yeah.
as fast as you think it can. And when he takes up the responsibility to do something, it's always stuff which lasts for generations.
Mm, mm,
And
mm,
this comes to extensive hard work.
mm.
I have been there with him in those days to watch him do things over and over and over again till he gets the sweet spot in almost every track. not
Wow.
just the song. So it's teaching everything to its micro level, so that finally you get to hear it.
Mm,
There is the song kind of gives you a flavor again and again. There is something in the song.
mm.
So that's a genius level of, I wouldn't say just compositional value, but also sequencing and programming and engineering. A lot of stuff that goes in, not just about the macro level, you only hear the song, but he really takes care of the micro.
True.
That gives a completely different end product compared to me. A lot of the music.
True. I agree. And interestingly enough, another thing is, um, I must have heard a million times all his songs, no doubt about, no exaggeration on this, but I still feel sometimes I feel that I just heard a brand new sound in that. How did I not hear it before? Is this just me being crazy, or it actually happens for everyone as well?
See, as electronic musicians, one of the things that happens is we are constantly updating with songs,
Yeah.
or what we call it as samples.
Yeah.
So there is always an element of bringing a new song.
Mm,
The genius level is about how to incorporate.
uh,
It's not about a new sound, but how the new sound fits into
correct.
an old sound,
Correct.
you know, because we are, as Indians, we are very melody. We like singing a song with no music. We like it humming it.
Uh,
We are driven to that. So to make sense of each and every time, bringing a new instrument and making it acceptable,
uh,
that's a different quality.
yeah. Wow. Yeah. Very rightly said. And also, I remember AR saying in one of the interviews, this is pretty long back, I think, he said, he always looks at making technology work for him rather than working in the boundaries of technology. I thought that was an amazing quote that he said.
Yeah.
So, and I try to apply that because I'm into IT. When I build business applications and things like that, I try to think from that front too, but not at all times it always works.
See, here we are talking, it's a completely creative process.
Yeah,
You know, uh, your last song has got nothing to do with your next one.
true.
And we also are in films where, you have 5 songs or 5 different categories. They
Yeah,
can change from time to time.
yeah,
So can't afford to be repetitive.
yeah.
It's consistently getting the attention of people because it's people's business.
True.
You know,
True.
so it's constantly updating. It will never stop.
Mm.
That's the kind of place where we have arrived today.
Very
Staying in, staying in the top is not possible anymore that easily.
true. True. Um, how was his like the old Panchadan studio days? What was it like before it got renovated and stuff like that? What was the first studio like where you guys hung out and did stuff?
See, there were always film studios. There was Prasad Studio.
Yeah.
There was Kalasa. There were many studios
Yeah.
at that point of time itself. But most studios were equipped on live music. In the
Right.
sense like, gone are the days now when we call a drummer and ask him to play. But what is a rhythm machine? Nobody knew what it was.
Yeah.
So imagine setting up an entire orchestra to do it. And compared to when Rahman started his first studio, it was small. It was meant for an electronic music production kind of space.
Mm.
So it wasn't a space where we used to really hang out as much as like it was like meant for work.
Right.
There wasn't much space to hang out. Yep,
Yeah.
space, but
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, and that's where all the jamming and stuff like that took place, I take it.
Huh?
That's where all the jamming and stuff like that took place between you guys. You would jam over there.
We had these places called jam rooms where we
Right.
literally stays much before.
Yeah.
We used to hire it out and we used to like get together and we used to practice, or it will always be at someone's house.
Right.
home. We rarely actually would set up stuff in studio. When we went to studio, we went there with an intention to record,
Yep. Okay. Got it.
and it was recording. Otherwise, hanging out rarely happened. As far as AR was concerned, he was like, okay, work over, and we always had the next job in sense like, and those days he used to do a lot of jingles
Yeah.
before watching.
Yeah.
Was literally like watching people, client after client coming in. So I doubt whether he had room and time management. I don't know how he does that. How he's able to give his 100% every time, but yet at the same time have the next job in mind.
Yeah.
So
So there
that
was,
defines.
yeah. So sorry, there was never a time where you guys actually went for tea or coffee. Nothing absolutely at all. It's always was work, work, mostly work.
There have been times. I mean, see the problem in working in studios is like we guys rarely need to go out and catch up for dinner
Yeah.
or catch up for coffee because we are provided with everything. You go in the morning, instantly every time somebody asks you whether you had breakfast. So where the question of even looking of a hotel or anything, you're
Right.
well fed and more than anything else, the moments are spent inside the studio.
Yep.
So the moment you get to go out, because it's like plenty
Yeah.
hours that spent. No, it's like 9 in the morning sometimes to 12-hour calls, 9 in the night sometimes, and Rahman it used to we can go in the nights.
Yeah.
So just when you go home to sleep, take a break. But
That's
otherwise,
it.
you spend somewhere 48 hours, 72 hours in
Oh,
yeah.
did
Where
you
the
like that
when
even
you
then?
having tea after that, coffee done.
Did he light a candle even while working during those days?
Yeah,
He has the habit of lighting a candle, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember telling this to someone else as well, and even I do that sometimes. I have inspiration from him, of course, and yeah, it just helps me focus a bit more. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so, moving on, Chikabukurele, right? Obviously, that was a sensation. And I have to tell you this. I am sure, I think I was in the school even then. I did, did not have the cassette. My neighbor had the cassette and he played it from his home. And the first song in the album was Chikbukurele. And it sounded something absolutely different. It sounded like an English song to start with. And I absolutely loved the beats. And I, I went and asked him. His name was Naeem. I still remember. He was my neighbor. I told him, when can I get this, borrow this cassette from you? He said, no, no, it'll take me some time to get over all the songs and then I'll give you. Then I just kept asking him again and again, and then he never did. And then I had to go and ask my dad to give me money to go and buy that cassette. I was so mad. That song drove me nuts. I have no idea. You have no idea what it did to me. Like back then. And it still plays on my Spotify, Suresh. You won't believe it. And I still dance to it. I have no idea whether you listen to that song, but we guys still go crazy for that song. How many years ago was this? And it still feels fresh, relevant, and we are so excited to speak to the singer like yourself who's done that song, who has given us that revolution then. You have no idea what it means to us. So, can you tell us any fond memories of that process?
Um, the song by itself, I had no idea that I was going to sing it. But yes, before I sang with him, I've done a couple of other projects before, mainly in ads and
Yeah.
stuff where I had some vocals or stuff. But basically, I'm a drummer. So the transition from playing rock and jazz and pop to literally singing in Tamil was not something I had in mind at all. Absolutely. But I was working with Rahman right from Roja, and so when this particular song had come out, uh, when he asked me to sing this song, I had no clue. Absolutely, I thought I was singing a track. Those days we used to have something called you sing a track before the original vocals come in. So I sang the track, but I sang the track with no influence because I'm not influenced by him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for I had a very influence in Western music because
Yeah.
of the kind of that lead in college and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess the delivery was very different. And even after I finished seeing it, we had
Yeah.
fun at that point of time doing harmonies because harmony was not a concept that uh, music used to follow, especially in the Indian music, because
Yeah.
most were very melody based and single track kind of both. So doing harmonies and doing counter harmonies uh, and it was just fun because it was made in a process like what we used to make the Western music song as. In Western music, a lot of vocalists sing their own harmonies.
Yeah.
We don't have background. We don't have four people singing a harmony for you, which is
Yeah.
normal. Uh, so doing the same harmonies and doing counter harmonies to it and all was a new concept, and we enjoyed it. I sang it, and after that, I didn't know what happened to the song at all. Continued working with other stuff. And must be almost a year later when he came and told me that I have to sing the song again. And trust me, that song actually took maybe 18 hours with some breaks in between because it went on and on and on. He had to he was and those days we really didn't have much to get over like pitch correction and stuff like that. So and delivering it the entire thing in Tamil and stuff like that.
Mm.
So we end up seeing the whole song again.
Mm.
But this time I had an idea. I thought okay, I mean something is happening. There's something is brewing. He's asking me to sing this again. And I sang it and landed up forgetting about it again.
Right.
And actually the movie released and then this song came out and as much as it was a surprise for everyone, it was an amazing surprise for me. Because what is this? It's just until the cassette came out, I really hadn't heard the entire song. It's full
Yeah. Wow.
grand, talking about the mastered voice. When I heard this the first time, I I was totally in awe of what he had done with it.
Wow.
And those were the days we used to record on analog. We used to record on those half-inch spools.
Yeah.
So literally between one take and a retake, we has to go back. The spool has to go back.
Right. Yeah.
I guess there was a lot of patience. He's a man of infinite amount of patience.
Yeah.
And it shows in his music. Shows, it translates. It doesn't matter what system you play his music on.
Uh,
He translates into great sound from that.
True.
So I would say mine has been totally ordained. It is not something that it is something where I feel really blessed, I feel really lucky because it is not my own effort. I do that very well. It was some I owe it to Rahman and the Big for starting me off on a career which I least really remember. And that gave rise to landing up seeing Chicken Biryani in Telugu, another language. And that gave rise to coming into a Kannada industry and then coming into a Hindi industry. Maybe. And I guess I'm blessed that I was associated
Yeah.
with him at that point of time. It catapulted me, but I never forget the roots from where it came from.
Yeah. And yeah, of course, it it's. Do you still listen to it though? I'm just curious.
I keep performing that song,
Yeah.
so it's like 25 years later, I had a show just I mean, the last show I did was somewhere in November. Yeah, December.
Right.
So I do a completely different version of the songs
Okay.
because of having a live band and trying to arrange it in a different way.
Right.
But it's a classic. It's a classic. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of the songs are classics.
I agree.
Now, along with the song, the singers have been recognized, but it's a lot of work that's gone.
Yeah. Uh, and am I stitching a friendship if I had to ask you to sing maybe one, two lines of that song?
Which one?
The Chikbukurele.
சின்ன பொன்னிப்ப படிப்பது எட்டு ராஜா மனசையெல்லாம் செலவை செய்யும் சொட்டு நிலவிவ பார்வையில் ஒரு பாச்சா வயசு பசங்கள விழியில குந்திச்சா சிக்க பொக்கு ரயிலே கலக்கிட்டு பானை ஸ்டைலே சிவால மயிலே இப்ப ஓகே நான் அடிதூலே.
Beautiful. Awesome. 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 Oh my God, Suresh, you have no idea what that song does to me. And then, of course, moving on, there was another one. Urvashi took over the world again.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Have you got any memories of that one?
Every song that I have worked on in my life, when I go back and listen to the songs,
Yeah.
yes, there's so much associated with every song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when Sutherland happened, and I still remember Urvashi. I used to work a lot of time in the nights with him, and I remember the melody evolving and hearing that. And by that time, it was not a question of like being related that you're doing something new, as much as like every little step was like one innovation. So, but I think of working with Rahman, it's like working with some doctor, uh, except that you feel a lot. And
Yeah.
Urvashi also was one of those songs where um, I heard Rahman in a different avatar when he sang.
Wow.
Of course, we heard him in Roja.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
laugh, Bombay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Urvashi or Amma that he sang
Yeah.
was a surprise for a lot of us. For him to move into a category of straight pop and deliver things like that. So even in Urvashi, I can tell you that mostly none of us end up listening to the entire song finality until Jake cassette is released. So even when I was also an audience at the end of the day. It doesn't bother things. It's you can do it like what?
Yes.
And absolutely genius level of program.
Yes.
Which firstly rhythm programming that he has done, which is so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot associated with that song, but it's like another new job.
It plays in every concert of his, and he rocks the flow. And I had the opportunity to be right next to the stage in the last couple of concerts that I was there, and then it's sensational. You have no idea what that song does too. And of course, you were also there in the newer version of Urvashi. It was done for the MTV thing. How was it like then? Working with AR then, did it bring back memories of the old Urvashi days into the new one? I'm just curious to know, that's all. And your selfie with AR on that day was amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest,
Yeah.
you're not really thinking of something back as much as you're really living the present, especially when you're doing work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're creating a memory.
Mm. Mm.
You know, not thinking, you're back thinking of something that happened. Every time you work with him, you're creating movie, and you know it well.
Yeah.
And you know that he will deliver the quality. He will deliver the the finish, the edge to the song.
Yeah.
And yeah, more than thinking back, you always wait for the future to kind of hear what has happened, the newer stuff.
Right.
That's fair, man.
Yeah.
That is it.
And the thing is, I mean, one of the guys who is a massive fan of yours and sir has asked me to ask you a question relating to this. He says, uh, all the songs that you have performed with AR, they're all difficult and they're also evergreen. How do you manage to make that happen? How is it possible?
I I still attribute it to Rahman. I mean, magic comes was something in what he created. In sense,
Yeah.
like I've just been a singer on his songs.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
No.
my intent has been maybe to an extent what I feel
Mm,
individually or where I
mm,
come from. But I think the the chops or the gist of the song and the way it sounds and why it is what it is because of.
right. I mean, of course, you're being very humble. It wouldn't have been possible without you. And of course,
Really, it,
it
it's
was
not
not
really. See, I also believe that there is a time and a season for everything under the sun.
correct.
The
Right.
time. Um, it happened.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happened. It is finally what we create is for the audience. It's not for us to keep and So it happened at the right time, the right way. And also, we should not forget that these songs also happened because of great directors who made films, great actors who presented, great choreographers, great cinematographers. When you work in films, it's not just one small thing. It's like
Correct.
hugely
Yeah.
responsible. Today, to talk about Chikabukare, as much as Rahman, I would also attribute this to Prabhudev. I was amazed at what he did with Chikabukare. I
Mm.
mean, I've never seen someone like that. You know, so absolutely take Prabhudev away from the equation of the song. I don't know how whether it will stay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it's about an individual. He just
Yeah.
happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yes, that's true. Yeah. Very true. But once again, I mean, I feel that the magic definitely the one of the main factors was your voice and your contribution. I don't think if it was someone else, it would have created as much magic as it actually did. I could be wrong, but I strongly believe that this had to happen and it was meant to be this way.
Trust me, if I wanted to be a tablet singer, and I would have gone to any of the music directors there and have sung with tablets. I think so. I don't think it is about me being there. I think um, there are people who are born in this world from time to time in different facets of life.
Yeah.
Who make it look easy for you, but
Mm.
they put in the work for
Yeah.
you to be here.
Yeah.
He used something that he found unique,
Mm.
and he used it to the best of his experience.
Huh. Yeah.
So I don't know how I fit into this as much as you make it out to be, but of course I'm a part of it. I'd love to associate. I won't say I'm not a part of it, like everything is happened by chance. Uh, but even for the involvement to be there,
Mm.
as much as it is, you have to have a lead.
Yeah.
That's what. That's what.
You're being extremely humble, that's for sure. um well, I mean, um it's been 20, 27, 28 years since AR has been in this field, and then he's still leading at the top, and there is no looking back. And then what do you think it's making him be there where he is? The eagerness to learn, constantly learning.
So I would relate it to, it doesn't take rocket science to realize that it takes enough character.
Yeah, true.
It is not about music.
Mm.
When I see Sachin Tendulkar and I see what he's achieved,
Mm.
the person that he is has never changed.
True.
He means the same wonderful Sachin, accessible,
Mm.
and we are so proud of him.
Mm.
But the consistency of creating, the consistency
Mm.
to give quality
Mm.
is something that's not common as we think. So
True.
we get inspired by such people. This consistency has kept them going.
Mm. Yeah, true. Very true. Um, Moving on, I mean, there is a question from one of your fans in Sydney. His name is Nash, and he requested me to ask you what happened with Roxygen.
Oxygen.
Yes.
See, now what is happening is after we entered music in a professional way and we entered um, doing a lot of other stuff other than just doing live concerts
Yeah.
and cover songs. And once we went into doing original music,
Yeah.
singing for different music directors. And slowly what happens is it's like a job and you have lesser and lesser time
Mm.
to do something, especially to do with cover music.
Mm.
We used to play a lot of songs from Pink Floyd and Rush and Kansas and jazz like Chick Corea and stuff
Mm.
like that. And these huge names. But at the end of the day, what was happening is like we were playing cover music. We were not creating our own. So once we started our careers creating our own music, a lot of us realized like we could not really afford the time as well because to do a live concert, we require a lot of practice time.
Was.
Working different and also learning new songs
Mm.
and stuff.
Mm.
So I don't think there was something called bands broke off. It's like
Mm.
I wouldn't use the word moved on.
Yeah.
Kind of moved on because each and every person in rock season is right now doing really well
Yep.
in their own chosen field.
Mm. Mm.
Right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
I think that is the growth.
Yeah. True.
That is the growth. Any musician.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Suresh, we are almost coming to the end of this podcast. I mean, I wish I could just keep you in my session and talk to you forever about AR and your journey, but unfortunately, I can't. I have to let you go and do other priorities in life too. But before I let you go, I mean, I just have two last things, no more than that. The second last thing is, I know AR is your buddy. You have known him for a long, long time, and but still, there might be something. Is there a message or anything that you want to tell him? I'm sure when I share this with him and he sees that it's Suresh Peters, he's going to watch it. And he actually reads and watches everything.
I I'm just incredibly proud of.
Yeah.
I'm just incredibly proud to have rubbed shoulders with a man who actually has created history.
True.
As humble as he is,
Mm.
he is far from ordinary.
Um,
And from time to time, no matter after 25 years, I still get inspired.
yeah.
I still, so many songs, when I even think of it, I still use them as a starting point to think.
Yeah.
I think that is how much he's influenced me as a musician.
Yeah.
And as a friend, I'm just glad that after so many years, he's still there. People could have moved on and people, he
Mm.
still kept that place where when he requires, he calls. And I'm really glad and happy and content in this life also that I met Rahman
Yes.
and I work. I'll always bless him to get newer and newer stuff because whatever he does, he's also doing a lot for all of us,
Yeah.
right from our country, that level.
Yeah.
So they got to keep him blessed and safe and healthy and always fill him with wisdom to give us newer and newer stuff to be inspired.
Wow, amazing. What great words. Amazing. I love it. Um, well, lastly, Mr. Suresh, I don't know if I'm going to stretch our friendship again, but do you think maybe two lines of Urvashi and no more than that? Please.
Yeah. Film காட்டு பொண்ணு பார்க்கலானோ take it easy policy. பக்கத்து சீட்டுல பாட்டியும் தாண்டா take it easy policy. பண்டிகை தேதி சண்டேயில் வந்தா take it easy policy. அழுத காதலி அண்ணான்னு சொன்னா take it easy policy. ஊர்வஷி ஊர்வஷி take it easy ஊர்வஷி. ஊசி போல உடம்பிருந்தா தேவையில்லை பாமசி. வாழ்க்கையில் வெல்லவே take it easy policy. வானவில் வாழ்க்கையில் வாலிபம் ஒரு fantasy. ஊர்வஷி ஊர்வஷி take it easy ஊர்வஷி.
Oh, amazing. Awesome, Mr. Suresh. Thank you, heaps. Thank you so much for this. I am indebted for your support and encouragement for this one. And of course, I'll stop the recording now, and then we can chat for 2 minutes, and then I'll let you go. Cool. Stop.